I'll show you guys my big board, and this is what I've been working on since the mock draft that took place on Tuesday. So pretty much what I did was took all those videos you guys, or all, excuse me, all those players you suggested, looked at some big boards, looked at players that people that I've been working with suggested, and just kind of put a little notes section and just went through it all. And that's what I did yesterday and most of today. And this is what you can do when you're in the middle of off season and don't have a lot to do. So, you know, um, really got to enjoy this process and wish I got to do more. But hopefully, this big board is a nice way to end the process and give you guys a little bit, to look at while the draft's going on. So, without BSing too much more, here we go. What I did was I highlighted the guys in yellow that maybe I'm a little bit higher on or lower on than what I've seen typically. Now, I've looked at so many big boards in the past hour or so that my brain is a little mashed up. I was trying to think of where Hashan Clinton Dix is on one, and I just figure whatever. Let's just go with it. Clowney, I think, is needs number one. Luan, I definitely have higher than most, as I think most people have Greg Robinson or even Jake Matthews up there. If you notice, Robinson's 33 on mine, which I feel might be still too high. If you just scroll down here, there he is. But we'll get to that in a moment. Luan is, I think, just as looks just as athletic as Robinson. When you put on a tape, he looks much better and does everything. And to me, that's so much more important coming into the NFL. That just he excites me a lot more. I think his ceiling's very higher than Matthews, but maybe the floor's lower than Matthews. I think Matthews will be a safer pick. I think Robinson has a similar ceiling to Luan. I don't think Robinson's ceiling's higher, but his floor is just, oof. I think his floor is like out of the NFL in a few years. So I get the potential with Robinson. We get to that in a little bit. Luan, I think, has highest potential here and shown the most. Bridgewater, Glovesgate will go down as, I think, the dumbest thing that's been discussed in a pre-draft. And I'm really hoping that all this has been smoke and mirrors and that he's still a top 3 or 4 pick in this draft, because this guy has played. He's played for 3 years. He's been great for 3 years. He was number 1 pick all through the season. Towards the end of last season, they were talking about him being number 1 coming into this year. And all that changed after a pro day? I mean, think about that. None of this was discussed until the pro day. So, no. I just can't fall into that trap. Watkins, Mack. I think I might have Odell Beckham a little bit higher than most, but I think, if you watch my video on him, very solid player, fluid, quick, got everything you want. Verrett, I'm definitely much higher on than most. Man corner that does everything you want a man corner to do. I mean, every corner you see nowadays in college seems to be zone. There's not too much man. Watch Justin Gilbert. All he does is play zone. So I want to see these guys play man, and he does it at a high level. To me, that's great. Bortles, Evans, Manziel. I think that's going to be pretty normal. I know the quarterbacks have fallen out of favor for most, but D Ford's probably a little higher. I really like what he can bring. I think his potential, his ceiling, is quite high. I think his floor is also another troublesome one, but I really like what a team can do with him. Zach Martin can play every position on the line. Anthony Barr, another guy with very low floor and a very high ceiling. But I think Barr can be taught a lot. So, I equate him to like Mingo last year, but maybe one right there I'm not feeling very confident in. But I do think his ceiling is quite high. Clinton Dix, I think, can be a terrific player in the correct scheme. You put him in a Rex Ryan scheme, he's going to shine. You put him in Tampa 2, it's going to be rough. I think that's there. Donald, I'm definitely lower on than most. I just think that he's going to get swallowed up inside. I think his size is going to be a concern, especially because he doesn't counter move. If you watch the mock draft, kind of discussed that. But I think he's a player that can do very well. I think he's also a player that could, flare out pretty quickly. Morgan Moses and Gabe Jackson, two guys that did videos on. Gabe reminds me a lot of Larry Warford last year, who I was the 7th overall guy on my value board and didn't get drafted till the 3rd round. I felt silly until I watched him play this year, and I kind of remembered why I liked him so much in Warford. And I kind of see that in Gabe Jackson. If you're technically sound and dominate, why is it that teams are afraid to take you earlier? Now, I get guard isn't a premium position, but it's becoming it. If Aaron Donald is inside and he blows up, you have Starla Tule and J.J. Watt, all these guys playing inside. Coney Ely's potential, if you see on the sport, he's an inside player. And if that's something that becomes a trend, guess what? Guards are going to become more valuable because you have to block those type of players. So, I think that's something that could be changing in coming years, but, we'll see. Moses has a high ceiling. Coney Ely with the best inside move of anyone I saw this season. But, there's definitely questions on his ability to get to the outside. But we'll see. I think really like what he can offer. I think he's going to be a great 3-4 defensive end. Marcus Smith probably a little higher than most. Another player that I think can shine but he'll play more in a 5 technique outside. Calvin Pryor, who I have the lower, he's a great run stopper, questionable in coverage. So I need my safeties to cover, and I'm just a little nervous about him. And lastly, I think of my questionable ones is Greg Robinson, and I have him out of the first round value-wise. And just because you watch the tape on him, he doesn't do anything that shows me that he's an NFL player. He ran fast at the combine and benched a lot. And he played on a team that ran for a lot of yards, but I don't think he was the reason they did it. I don't know. I just, as a coach, I have a hard time watching him and thinking this guy right here is going to be an elite NFL player. I see the potential. I see a big man that runs quick and can dominate at rare times, and that hopefully you can utilize that and teach him that, hey, you can do this on a down and down basis. And then you have a player that's looking like, Jonathan Ogden. But to get there, the journey to get him to that point is going to be massive. And we saw when you take a player like this, like Michael Orr, that kind of reminds me of him, where they saw a lot of potential, athletic, issues with certain things in college, and it didn't work out too well. And now he's going to be, I know he was signed by someone in my brains, Tennessee, I believe. He's going to be trying to play right tackle there. You're talking about a Baltimore team that was desperate. Both their tackles were free agents, and they didn't go after him. They went after the guy they had traded for in the middle of the season. So, I think there's some similarities there. We'll see. But I think the rest of I only did the 46. Ignore those numbers on the left, the gray. Look at the white. I just noticed how confusing it could be. Yikes. But did the 46, LaMarcus Joyner. I looked at about 60 players and didn't feel comfortable enough to go beyond the 46. I just felt like I was starting to rank just to rank instead of a true ranking of the best players, because I think there were some players that I didn't see that could definitely fit in into those numbers. Now, if you want a true comprehensive all 7 rounds and undrafted free agents, go to Zone Reads. Nath did a terrific job, and his staff over there putting together that big board, and they have all 7 rounds undrafted free agents. So hope this is interesting. Something to look at maybe after the draft, see where I thought a player team selected in the first couple rounds fit, and we'll see what we'll do from here. I had someone ask if I'm going to do NFL videos. I will definitely be doing NFL videos when the season starts. I'll see what I can do between now and the season, but mostly, guys, enjoy the draft. Hopefully you get excited for what your team's selecting. It's a new life, And hey, I'm a Jaguar fan. This might be the high point of the season. So I'm hoping that they can get this one right. So, hey, all right. Thanks for watching, and talk to you guys soon.